Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about what should you do with your thrift savings plan at retirement. Should you keep it there? Should you move it out? What makes sense for you to get the most out of your money and to make sure your money still grows in retirement and you can enjoy the heck out of it as well. That is the goal. So if you are new here, welcome. So good to have you. My name is Dallin Haas. I'm a financial planner who serves federal employees every single day, and I absolutely love it. So I get this question all the time as people are retiring. They say, hey, look, I've had my money in thrift savings plan my entire career. What should I do with it at retirement? Should I keep it in the TSP? Is that the best place for it? Should I move it out? What should I do? So we're going to simplify it for you guys today to make this relatively simple, because there's lots of nuances, but relatively simple so you understand what makes sense for you. But before we do, let's go on a quick history lesson. So in the past, the TSP used to be way worse than it is now. They used to have way more rules and regulations on taking money out. It used to be where you had to get notarized consent from your spouse to take out any amount from your TSP, which is a royal pain. There was also tons of rules on how many withdrawals you can take. It was, long story short, there used to be so much more red tape, which now there is still red tape and it's still a pain to do a few things. However, it's come a long way. And with recent legislation, the Roth TSP is no longer subject to RMDs, which is another reason why the TSP is becoming more and more competitive and comparable to, let's say, an IRA, okay? So here's the deal. I'm gonna walk you through the reasons why people stay in the TSP and the reasons why people leave the TSP, okay? Number one, those people where it makes sense to keep their money in the TSP and to not move it is when they're optimizing for simplicity and familiarity. Familiarity, okay? If the goal for you is to keep things as simple as possible and to keep it in something that you're familiar with, to lower the chances of making mistakes, the TSP is a high quality, good option. Again, it's simple. There's only a few investment options, right? You're familiar with it. You've been investing in it for probably decades at this point. So there's tons of advantages in just keeping it there. Now, are there some downsides? Yeah, there are. Can you do all the things you could do in an IRA? No, you can't, but it's simple. And honestly, I'd rather someone keep it in the TSP to keep things simple and to not make mistakes than try to go over to an IRA, not know what they're doing, and make a ton of mistakes over there, okay? So again, if the goal is simplicity and familiarity, the TSP is a high quality option that serves a lot of people really, really well, okay? Now, let me talk through why people might move to an IRA. Long story short, there's more options, okay? There's more investment options. You can invest in more things. You can diversify better. There's just more control over how you do that when you're able to move stuff around into different events. There's just more control, okay? Also, within the TSP, you can't control which funds you sell when you pull money out. So let's just do an example. Let's say you have half your money in the G fund and half your money in the C fund. If you took $100 out, well, you can't decide to take it just from the G or from the C. You have to take it from both, okay? Which is a pain. There's some workarounds within the TSP, but it's an administrative pain to do so throughout retirement. In an IRA, you have a lot more control over where you sell money, how you do it, when you do it, a lot more control that way, okay? Also, within an IRA, it's a lot easier to do Roth conversions, which you could check out my other videos on that, but it's a tax strategy to get a bunch of money over to a Roth account, which is a tax-free account, which can grow tax-free for the rest of your life, which you can't move money from the traditional TSP to the Roth TSP. You can't, that's not a movement that is allowed. You can't do it. Within IRAs, you can do Roth conversions. You can do some of these tax strategies that make sense, right? One of the last reasons people do move to an IRA, if they want a pro to help, right? If they want a financial planner like our firm, or there's tons of financial planners out there, right? To help manage their money, to help them throughout retirement, then that often has to be in an IRA depending on what they're trying to do and how they work with you, right? So long story short, again, this is how I'd simplify it. If the goal is to keep things super simple and familiar, then just keeping it in the TSP is a great option, okay? Especially for those that aren't very familiar with investments and investing and don't want to have to spend the hours and hours and hours and hours it takes to actually know what you're looking at and to know stuff. The TSP makes it simple, which is great, We love simple, okay? Can you do all the things that you might like to do? No, you can't do all the things in the TSP that you might be able to do in an IRA, but that's okay if the goal is simplicity. Now, the people that I recommend go to an IRA, either they want to hire a pro to help, right? Or they're really good at this stuff, right? And so they understand how to get the most out of the more options that exist in an IRA. They can do the Roth conversions. They can do all the things they want to do within an IRA because they understand and they put probably hundreds of hours into understanding it, right? That's how I'd simplify it. Is either one, you want to keep it super simple and you don't want to have to know the stuff, so just keep it in the TSP. Option two, you're really good at it, so you want to move it to an IRA and you know your stuff, so you're going to take advantage of the things there. Or you want to hire a pro so they can help you get all the advantages of an IRA. But you don't have to know all the stuff yourself, right? Those are the few things that I would consider when thinking about where to put your money, okay? Now, there's nuances, there's different rules on how the TSP works and IRA works, but I wanted to simplify it for you guys today just to give you, really, in my opinion, the summarized version of where people should put their money depending on what their goals are and what they're good at. So I hope that helps. There's no right or wrong here. The TSP can be a great place for retirement. An IRA can be a great place for retirement. It just depends what your goal is and how far and what strategies you want to take advantage of for the rest of your retirement. So I hope that's helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.